Urgent news for break fix reactive providers. That's the topic of the last segment. There's a story here, and it's one of a dozen or so stories that I've been reading for the last couple of months, and it's all related back to credit tightening, shrinking of the monetary supply, all that economic stuff we've been talking about in past episodes. It is actually having an impact. Some of you may realize this, some of you may not, that businesses, particularly small, medium-sized businesses, right? The big Wall Street firms, they have their own issues, but they have other solutions that are not necessarily available to small and medium businesses. For small and medium businesses who are really reliant on cash flow and access to credit capital in order to get through periods of difficulty, they need a line of credit to open up to be able to get through if cash flow suffers or takes a little bit of a hit. Hopefully this is making sense to those of you out there watching and listening. Most of the assessment from the economic people who produce content and think about this stuff a lot more than I do, are saying, hey, look, this is very real. Small, mid-sized, I should say, banks that lend to small and mid-sized companies are restricting that outflow of capital for a number of reasons. I'm not going to go into why they're happening. I've gone over that in the past. Just trust me that it's happening and that a lot of people are talking about it. Okay, so you're asking yourself,
Charles, what the heck does this have to do with urgent news for break fix providers?
Well, I'll tell you. If you agree that there's a tightening of access to capital, to lending, to money for small, mid-sized companies, then this should be of particular concern to you, especially in the tech world. If you are, let's say, at 50% or greater of your revenue that's coming from being a value-added reseller, a break fix company, or a reactive company in some way. If you're 50% of your revenue is from that chunk of business, I would say you're probably highly vulnerable, and you may want to listen, drop what you're doing right now and listen to what I'm about to tell you. Because the last thing I would want is for any business to suffer. And if you've been waiting for maybe months, maybe it's been years that you've been saying, I've thought about being an MSP. It's not the right time. I don't want to do it yet. I'll do it someday. I'll do it someday, but not today. If that's been you, don't wait anymore. Stop your waiting. Drop everything you do right now and go become an MSP. Or if you're already doing managed services, but it's not really the majority of your revenue, and you still have an exposure to this break fix or reactive revenue base or customers, develop a plan to get those customers and get that revenue switched over, because you are vulnerable. If you